again, and welcome to another episode of Factory Fresh. I am Lee Bailey.
I'm Harjaan.
And today, Harjaan, oh boy.
Some great
It's
news.
going to be like Christmas for this guy right here, for my co-host. As viewers of recent episodes of Factory Fresh may recall, we speculated just in April, like less than 2 months ago, about the possible return of the Celica to refresh Celica, Celica, tomato,
Porsche.
has been gone since 2005 in North America, 2006 globally, since the 7th gen went out of production.
Yes.
The 8th gen return has been speculated a lot in the last year or so in Japan, here in North America. We referenced an anime series where there's like an 8th gen car, kind of in the
where they put it on the license plate.
It's put on the plate, says Celica, and like, whoa, what's this all about? So, and this is Grip. It's called Grip, and that was actually a Toyota production. So some of this isn't just us; it's actually Toyota that's kind of stoking the flames. Yeah. Usually the manufacturer's like, oh no, it's not us.
Don't
guys.
tell them. Don't tell
us.
them.
And meanwhile, it's like, actually, we're gonna kind of pour gas on the flames ourselves. So. But back in April, we didn't really have a lot of meat on the bone, apart from a Toyota executive saying last year at a fan event that we're going to build it, and then he kind of walked. It was in Japanese, and in translation, he kind of walks it back a little bit. Well, let me tell you, this is a lot more meat on the bone, as we say. So this comes to us from Motor Trend. Our friends at Motor Trend recently spoke with a fella named Erickson. And Erickson is the Senior Vice President of Product Planning and Strategy at Toyota North America, which is the U.S. arm of Toyota. So this guy's pretty high up in the food chain at Toyota USA. Now, he didn't confirm that there was going to be a 8th generation for sure. But what he said was that there is and I wrote the headline in such a way to kind of try and capture this. There is a project in development that could be called a Celica.
Oh no!
Yes. Now,
could this be like Mitsubishi's Eclipse crossover?
I'll read you his quote. Now, he told Motor Trend it's in pretty advanced development. Air quotes here. That's what he said, and there's an actual quote I put in our story. It's on passmag.com, so I encourage our viewers and listeners to go and check it out at your leisure. Here's the quote. So he told Motor Trend, quote, "We are working on a product that could theoretically go by the Celica name if we can figure out how to pull it off and it gets approved." So this isn't taking a classic sports car name and slapping it on an SUV. We've had enough of that. Had enough. The Eclipse Cross.
Get out of here.
And the new RSX, which is going to be an EV SUV.
We don't want it.
I mean, I love Honda, but come on, man.
I hate
Honda. We all know what the RSX was, okay? And it wasn't an SUV.
Definitely wasn't.
Our tuner folks, we've done RSXs in Pass Mag. It wasn't a bloody SUV. So what he is basically saying, if by my reading of this, is that, no, it's going to be a sports coupe. If we build it, it's not going to be some compact SUV. It's going to be a sports car.
Now, do you think it's going to be in the same range of the Solara?
Well, I don't know. Okay, let me go a little bit further. So he went on to say that there is a test mule. If they've already built a prototype, then this is far along. Usually they don't build prototypes unless they're getting closer to making a call on production. Yes, no. So we're kind of almost at the 1 yard. If you want to use a football analogy, we're like first and goal here, okay? Like we're on the 1 yard line.
Yeah.
Now, we could fumble and it could be run back for a touchdown by the other team. So let's not get a little crazy here.
Yeah.
Things could still...
Don't place your bets yet.
Don't get too excited. Bad things could still happen. But compared to where we were a couple months ago, this is Toyota on the record with Motor Trend. Like, this guy was quoted for attribution. It wasn't just on background. He was giving quotes to Motor Trend. Motor Trend, as our audience will know, pretty big automotive publication in the United States. So this isn't just Joe's blog. This is like for real. This
isn't your random person on Twitter.
He said, interestingly, and our Celica stands out there, or who are internet sleuths, will know that there have been a lot of concepts. If you Google Celica, you'll find all these artist renderings and concepts and whatever floated, especially in the last 6 months. There's been a flood of them.
Yeah.
I've seen some of them. I'm sure you have too, of what it could look like updated for 2026 or 2027 or whatever.
Yeah.
He has said he wouldn't talk about the car's appearance or its powertrain. Wouldn't talk about that, obviously, because it's not been confirmed. But he said that the stuff that's been circulating online in terms of design, like all these artist renderings, are wrong.
Oh,
so it doesn't. What the car that's in development does not look like what you have seen on the internet.
So we know what not to expect.
Correct. He didn't say that it was. Didn't talk about propulsion specifically, but. You want to get excited, Harjaan? Let me just read you from my story. You will like this. Where is it here? He declined to. He said electrification is unlikely for this project.
Mm-hmm.
And you want to know why? Well, I'll tell you why. The lack of this is from. I'm quoting myself here, guys. You can go and check it out on pastmag.com. You'll see this because I like okay. The lack of electrified propulsion might seem unusual for a vehicle in development in 2025, where everything is electrified.
Yes.
But Erickson has an explanation for that. Akio Toyoda-san, who former president of Toyota Motor Corp and is now the chairman, like the emeritus, basically, of Toyota Motor Corp in Japan, thinks the internal combustion engine is better for high-performance vehicles such as the company's GR cars. Quote, this is from Erickson, Akio has said when it comes to specialized GR performance products, it is very difficult to replicate the emotional driving feel out on track with something other than a traditional ICE internal combustion engine, end quote. And as I
Music
agree,
to my ears.
I agree. Me too. Me too.
That's amazing.
So if this car, if will not be electrified, it'll be a straight gas car like the GR cars that currently exist, the Corolla, the Supra, and the 86, all of which are gas only. No hybrid, no plug, nothing. They are gas-powered engine, transmission. There you go, right?
Yep.
There's no, So if you were worried that, it's going to be some EV,
hybrid,
whatever, CVT, no. And Toyoda-san, who would know, he's the guy who has to drive all the cars before they are officially confirmed. He does. He's Maurizio. I've seen the videos where he will. Suzuka is one of the tracks in Japan.
Yeah.
They have other test tracks where he will put on the fire suit, put on the helmet, and before the car is officially greenlit for production, he has to take his test drive. And I love that.
Wow.
I love it. The guy is a car guy. So he's no longer the president, as I said. He's now the chairman of Toyota Motor Corp. But yeah, man. So I included some old photos. You can look at it on pastmag.com. I got the 6th and 7th gen Celica, which I think looks amazing.
Yeah.
The 6th gen is my jam from the 90s with the round headlights. I just love it.
Yeah, those were gorgeous.
So cool. And I've included
the Toyota Integra.
Yeah, I included the old, so the interior you're seeing there at the bottom, that's from the 7th gen.
Yes.
The car that left us in 2005, and it's been 20 years. And so,
yeah.
Let's talk brass tacks here. Do we think this is going to happen?
Yeah.
I do, because it's pretty far down. They've spent a lot of money. Even to build a prototype is years of R&D development.
Regardless, they've already spent the R&D money on the engine.
And Toyota, we talked about this.
The 4-cylinder engine that they're putting in every GR Corolla, they've already spent the R&D money to develop this engine. Why wouldn't they want to put it in as many cars as they can, especially knowing that the Celica has such a huge name behind it and a cult following for people that will literally purchase it
and
right
Toyota
off the bat.
Concepts, having been on the auto show circuit now for over a decade and a half, I've been covering the industry. Toyota, of all OEMs, their concepts become cars. They become cars. They become production
Probably
cars.
the only manufacturer that actually has the best record.
They're not the king of design exercises. And I won't name OEMs that do a lot of that. And it's whatever, man. Like sometimes those elements end up in production cars. But usually with Toyota, it's like the car that you see as a concept will become a Lexus or a Toyota. It may take a couple of years, maybe 3 years, maybe more. But they become cars. And I've been on the auto show. I've seen these concepts on the auto show circuit, and then 2 or 3 years later, there's an announcement that it's going to be a production car.
Might look slightly different, but it's there.
Right.
Unlike Jaguar, that's doing this full brand changeover, and you'll probably never see any of those cars on the road.
That's a whole other thing. But yes, no, you're right. You're 100% right. And so I embedded a link from our previous Factory Fresh episode where we talked about this Celica back in April, and you can go and check that out. The link is right there. I made sure that it works. So it'll take you right to our YouTube channel, and you can check out if you want to know what we were talking about previously. But this is much further down the line. Like, this car seems clearly in development. Erickson wouldn't go all the way because, guys, you have to understand that they often will say to us, media, when we ask about stuff that they're working on, can't comment on future products because the car has not been officially confirmed. It hasn't been announced. There hasn't been a press release, and so they don't want to talk about it. He is being a lot more I said this in my story. These guys, especially executives, usually there's PR minders. Like when they're at auto shows, the PR minder is like it's like a celebrity with their publicist or assistant. They'll cut in. We can't talk about that.
No further comments.
He can't say anything. He has to go. Yeah, he has a meeting. Like I've seen it. I've covered the industry long enough to have witnessed this myself, and I've even been asking the question to say, that's all the time we have. He has to go. He has a plane to catch. So his Erickson's conversation with Motor Trend was much more. When I was reading the original Motor Trend article as I was preparing to write this story, I thought, wow, usually they're not this forthcoming. They usually don't say anything. Like normally they wouldn't even acknowledge that this is in development. They would say, no, we can't comment. Can't comment. Like I even said, usually their reply is no comment.
Yeah.
And he said more here than I think I've ever heard about a product that's not officially been confirmed. And I can't underline this enough. What we're talking about is still speculation. We don't, but it's based on what Toyota is actually saying.
Speculation from a good source.
Yeah, it's speculation that has some grounding.
Now, do you feel like Tokyo Auto Salon, you mentioned before how the GR Corolla, we're going to probably see the new iteration at the Tokyo Auto Salon, where they're going to announce most of their stuff.
The Tokyo Mobility Show.
Or Tokyo Mobility Show.
Is in, no, Tokyo Auto Salon is in January of 26. So
but Mobility Show happens before in November,
is every
right?
2 years, and it's very much OEM focused. So Tokyo Auto Salon, for those in our audience, I'm sure know what Tokyo Auto Salon is very much Japanese car culture. It's not so much OEM. They don't usually announce new production cars at Tokyo Auto Salon. But what they could do is at the Tokyo Mobility Show, which is in October, it's every other year. The last one was in 2023. The next one will be in 2025. And all the big Japanese OEMs are there. I mean, and most of them have press conferences, and that's where they do announce new product. Now, some of that product, guys, is for the Japanese home market. Some of it's for Europe. Not all of it is for us in North America. But this car would be a global car. It would be for us as well. If the U.S. arm of Toyota is commenting on this, then that means it's going to, if it comes, it'll be for us. It won't just be for Japan, or we've all experienced this, where we see these cool cars that are only in Europe or only in Japan. This car will come. It'll be global. It'll be everywhere.
It looks like it'll be a big enough car that it will satisfy the North American market.
The previous generations were. They were sold everywhere.
Exactly. It's not a Yaris or like a pretty much a small compact car that most people wouldn't want to purchase.
Right.
Like, this is a normal size car.
All the previous gens, including the 6th and 7th gen, the last 2 gens that we had, were global cars. So much like our chat about the MR2, sadly no update on the MR2, guys. If we hear anything, we'll let you know. But it was a global car too, right?
Yeah.
So if that car comes back, wouldn't that be great? It would be global as well, presumably. But
like you assumed before, was MR2. We're probably going to get that at the
Tokyo Mobility Show will be the place where new production cars will be announced. If there's, and now Toyota, there'll be probably stuff on the Lexus side as well. I imagine.
Honestly, you know what my guess is?
What's that?
I think they're going to take the 7th gen Celica, and they're going to take that new 4-cylinder engine that they have, and then they're going to put it in that car, and then just have that shown at maybe at the Tokyo Auto Salon. Just be like, hey, remember this engine that we brought out for the new GR Corolla? Look at what it looks like in the old Celica. And then just like a teaser, kind of like what they did with the mid-engine GR Corolla, where they...
And that was at the Tokyo Auto Salon. In January.
They didn't really need to put that engine in that car or show anything for that matter, but they did.
And the speculation is, as we've talked about, that there's a development mule for a next-gen GR Corolla. We expect that one of the things that Toyota will show us, because the current Corolla, as we talked about with the FX edition a couple weeks ago, it's been around since 2019. Like it's getting to the point where it's due to be replaced.
And this
so the whole Corolla line, right? Not just the GR, but all the Corollas will be new for in the coming. Probably so that's very much an announcement I think we'll get, and they basically told us that when they showed us the development mule at the Tokyo Auto Salon. It's like, okay, guys,
they're working.
There's a new GR
something.
Corolla coming. It'll be a 4-banger, and the horsepower will be increased, and blah blah blah. So could they also show a new Celica, or at least a concept?
A concept.
We could at least get a maybe we won't get a production car. We could get and if they show us a concept, Harjaan, they're going to build this car. Remember, with the Supra, we saw the FT1. We saw the FT1 for years. And I said to somebody in 2014, when this car was everywhere at all the auto shows, I said, you want to know what the new Celica is going to look like? Or the new Supra is going to look like? There it is. They're just going to call it, instead of calling it the FT1, they'll call it the Supra. And if you look at the Supra production car, you split screen.
There's a lot of design cues that are still there.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
The front bumper with that center insert.
Well, just the shape of it.
Mm-hmm.
For production, it changed a little bit, as you do. Because some manufacturing,
for better or for worse,
manufacturing kind of forces you to make some choices. Shall we say? So with a concept car, you can make it whatever, right? But if you split screen it and put the Supra on one side and the FT1 on the other, I'm like, that's the same car.
Yeah, you squint hard enough.
So Toyota could do that with the Celica and say, hey guys, Celica concept, concept, and then in a year or 18 months, production car, boom. No, and it looks not the same, but very close.
Very similar. What do you think is more likely this year? MR2 concept or Celica concept?
Oh, I say Celica concept based on what we have. I mean, the story. I mean, basically, you say
the MR2 was very, very speculation based on us seeing a mid-engine platform.
What's funny is the FTSE, which we had in our last in that episode of Factory Fresh, where we showed the FTSE concept, which was shown in the last Tokyo Mobility Show in 2023, the same year that Nissan showed the Hyperforce. I've read and heard online that car could be an EV. And we speculated that could be an MR2 with a gas engine, mid-engine, and it could be. Toyota hasn't said, but I've also seen speculation that suggests that car, if it goes to production, that concept will not be a gas car, it'll be an EV.
I got to disagree, because when in the direct quote we have from Akio, he says that GR performance products.
But that might not be a GR car.
I doubt it. The MR2 is definitely a driver-focused car, and it should be under the GR line. If
I agree, but there's just two. I mean,
if the Corolla got a GR badge, the MR2 should definitely have.
I agree. But the rolling stock that we had, the video that we had that came out of its reveal 2 years ago, it looks like a rendering. It looks like a rendering. It's hard to tell. Yeah, it looks like that looked.
It was completely CGI. The whole thing.
It looked like Gran Turismo 7, right? I mean, it looked great. Yeah. But you and I were both thinking, could be an MR2.
Yeah.
Could be a mid-engine. Could be, or it could be an EV. We don't know. But yes, the MR2 should be a GR car if the MR2 comes back.
It will.
But this, I mean, they're hinting that this could be a GR car. This Celica could be a GR, this 8th gen. If it
for sure. It has to be. Any sort of sport lineage car that Toyota has to be a GR.
100%. And so when I was writing the story, I was just, man, this would be so great. I mean, it's been 20 years. The MR2 has been gone for 20 years as well. And if they both were to come back by the end of the decade, I mean and again, folks, bear in mind that this, even if they greenlight this project, which they have not done, we're talking 2 to 3 years before you see this car at your local Toyota dealer. It could be 2030, could be, or 2029. It could be a while, and we're in 2025. So, like we talked about in a previous episode about the Silvia and the S platform with Nissan, be prepared to wait, even if they greenlight it, and they have not greenlit it yet, has not been approved. Further to that. If you want to know where things wound up in this story from Cooper Erickson, the executive at Toyota North America, he said, quote, "It's a big wait and see. I'm just hopeful we can get something," end quote. Now, the final decision rests with not in North America, in Japan. This will be the mothership Toyota Motor Corp decision to either build this car or not, whatever this project is. And again, we're calling it a next gen Celica because that's what Erickson called it.
Yeah.
He said it could be. You have to kind of parse the words because he said it's a project that could be called a Celica. I'm like, there's some wiggle room there, right? You're like, so what are you saying, man?
I could see two aspects of it. We either get an automatic EV Solara for, the daily drivers, and then you get a GR Celica, which is, the Solara and the Celica were essentially the exact same car.
They badged it as a Camry spinoff in North America. It was the Camry Solara, as you may recall, for a long time. Yeah. It was kind of a midsize. This is compact. I don't think it'll be. People think of the old Solara as a two-door Camry, which is what it was essentially. Yeah. It was built on the Camry architecture, at least for North America. I can't speak for what it was outside of North America. U.S. and Canada, that was a Camry spinoff. It's a two-door Camry. Yeah. This is like the old 7th gen Celica was a liftback, right? Had a rear wiper. It was more of in the vein of sport compact.
RSX competitor.
Yeah, which was also a liftback, right? Back in the day, back in the early 2000s, or in the 90s as well. And if people think, does that mean that it would get because remember in the 90s, the Celica was also a convertible.
Yeah.
Guys, let's not aim too high. Okay. Convertibles don't sell. So my thought is this will be a coupe. It won't be a convertible. Because convertibles have been disappearing unless you're the Miata, which will be a convertible forever. I hope. So I wouldn't get too. I put one. I think I may have put one in the story. I don't know if I did or not. No, I didn't. In the previous story about this, I put a convertible in there, just because I love the look of it. The 6th gen with the round headlights. But even if it's just a coupe, that'd be great. We want more. We said in our previous episode we want more GR cars from Toyota.
Yeah.
And they seem game. Toyoda-san is very much hello. He has a nickname for his track persona. He's down with performance cars, and he even said that they should be gas if they're going to be GR. What more do you want?
Yeah,
he's one of us.
He is.
He's one of us.
He's keeping the dream alive. Now, is it going to be a V6, a V8? Definitely not.
No. But the previous car wasn't like that.
Yeah, none of them were.
They were 4-cylinder. Could it be a turbo 4 of some kind? Could it be a variant of the engine that we think is going to go in the next GR Corolla?
Like I said,
maybe detune it a little bit.
I don't think it's going to be detuned at all. I think they're all going to have the exact.
It won't be 400 horsepower.
It won't
be. It won't. The GR Corolla will be more of a performance.
What we saw in that car was, I think, way more track oriented. I think subtract 100 horsepower from that, or maybe like 50 to 75, and that's more so the consumer car that we'll see. But I think that exact same engine, the exact same tune, is going to be thrown in every single one of their cars, and it is just going to sell. It is going to be Toyota's new 2J. Like in the early 2000s, they put that 2JZ in pretty much everything, non-turbo and turbo. I think they're going to have the same variants, the 4-cylinder with turbo and non-turbo options. That's it.
Okay, guys. So bottom line is we're all on pins and needles here, on eggshells. Like Cooper Erickson, it's a wait and see. We'll see what we'll wait for the Toyota version of the new Pope with a puff. Hopefully, there's a puff of white smoke from Toyota HQ announcing that there's a new Celica in a few months or perhaps in the next year. Watch the Tokyo Mobility Show October, and if not, the Tokyo Auto Salon is in January.
Yes,
those will be the two They won't announce this. They'll announce this in Japan. This will not be
on their home turf.
No, it'll be on their home turf. So those two shows are coming in the next 6 months. So we shouldn't have to wait long to get. This is far down the road. If they
cross your fingers and wait.
They said if there's a development mule that is being tested and driven, and the engineers, there's at least one. Then if they've built a prototype, then I think this is happening.
Yeah.
But we'll have to wait for confirmation.
We're close.
So that's where we stand on the Celica news. If there's any news, guys, we will cover it. We're on this.
I promise.
But we're gonna switch gears here. Quickly talk about the Dodge Charger, the drama with Dodge. Okay, I am not going to talk about this particular thing in this episode because we want to make sure we're not running too long here. But in a future episode, we're going to dive into, I think, a story about Stellantis Ram division going back to NASCAR to race in the truck series.
Oh.
And the reason I mention this is because the Charger is related in the sense that there is speculation that the V8 HEMI, the HEMI V8, is going to return to the Charger. Currently, it's an EV.
Yeah.
And our story will focus on that.
Full
and
EV.
And there's a 6-pack, which is going to be an inline-six twin-turbo gas-powered.
Okay.
So bottom line, there's no V8 yet. But the reason I mentioned Ram racing in the truck series is because in 2026, the 5.7-liter HEMI V8 is returning to the Ram. And if they're going to put it in pickup trucks, then you can imagine, you know this, the Charger for years had HEMI V8s.
Yep.
Right?
That's what made them so good.
You were in the plant. You saw them getting built. But our story isn't focusing on that because it hasn't been confirmed. But our story focuses on how Stellantis has not had an easy go with the Charger and as an EV. Basically, like the Ram, people weren't jazzed when it was no longer available with a V8 engine. They're like, what? Yeah. It's an EV only? It's not available with a V8?
Can you imagine the customer base?
I can only get an inline-six. And by the way, all the Chargers that have been built, like the new generation, they haven't even started selling the 6-pack, as they call it, the gas. That is coming. So our story focuses on the 2026 model line for the Charger. And I'm just pulling up my story. Go to passmag.com for the full details. But the story for 26 is that they're dropping the Charger RT on the EV side. So in 2025, you could get the Dodge Charger EV as an RT, or the RT was and Scat Pack. So Scat Pack was the upper level trim, and the RT was the entry level. For 2026, the RT is gone.
Oh.
They've dropped it for both the U.S. and Canada. It's only available in Scat Pack. Now you can get it in 2-door. This announcement covers the rollout of the 4-door. So I know this is confusing. Originally, when the Charger came out, it was 2-door EV only. RT and Scat Pack.
Yeah.
This announcement says, in addition to dropping the RT because it wasn't selling, and I'll get to that in a second, it was also to show the 4-door. So the 4-door, the Charger's available as a 2-door and a 4-door.
Okay.
And the other news is that, as I said in my story, Car Scoops got a quote from Dodge's spokesperson to confirm this, and I'll read you the quote. It's in my story. Quote, production of the Dodge Charger Daytona RT is postponed for the 2026 model year as we continue to assess the effects of U.S. tariff policies, end quote. So you want to know, not only was it not selling, but a little inside baseball here, guys. This car is built at a Canadian plant in Windsor, Ontario, which is right on the Detroit border. People in Detroit, what's up? You know where Windsor is. That's where it's built. Now, it was built previously in Canada in Brampton assembly before, so this car's been built in Canada for a long time.
Yeah.
Like since 2008, basically. So the previous gen Charger, a lot of Americans don't realize that. The Charger hasn't been built in the U.S. since like the 70s. Okay, it's like the current Charger as we know it has only been built in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
So the spokesman for Dodge said, yeah, we're concerned about tariffs impacting, and these cars were not selling in great quantities already. Now, you want to know about the 6-pack, which is a 3-liter twin-turbo inline-six cylinder. Those will go on sale in the second half of 2025 as 2026 models.
So very soon.
They wouldn't give us a trim breakdown, but there will be multiple trims. This is the same engine that they put in the Ram pickup truck.
Yeah.
This they call it the Hurricane. I'm serious. They call it the Hurricane.
They got fun names.
But they call it a 6-pack because it's a 6-cylinder engine. Ha ha. Do you get it? 6-pack. Not just beer. It's also your engine.
I was thinking beer.
Me too.
Do you think a supercharger is on the way? Or is that too environmentally unfriendly? Or?
I'm not sure. I mean, this plant, just to talk a little bit about the Windsor assembly plant, It also builds the Pacifica minivans. I'm serious.
Yeah.
So on the same line, and I put a photo in my story where you can see some chargers that are being built. But if you look at the foreground, that is a minivan that's in front of this charger that these two guys are working on. Like, that's not a charger, that's a minivan.
Yep.
So they build them on the same line. They have been idling this plant, cutting the shifts for the next. In the story that I found on the CBC, that's Canadian Broadcasting Corporation, they did a big story on this, on the plant. Between now and the end of August, it's going to be running at limited capacity. So they're basically saying, we're worried about the tariffs, not just for the Charger, but for the Pacifica minivans, which are sold in the U.S. as well.
Yep.
And we're going to kind of wait and see with production. In other words, we don't want to flood our dealers with cars that they can't sell.
Exactly.
So production volumes for the 26 Charger, it'll depend on. Now, they're going to be rolling out the gas versions as well as the EVs, so there'll be more of them coming off the line. But the plant between now and the end of August is going to be mostly running at less than 100% capacity. And you were used to work in a car plant. I grew up in the shadow of a car plant. I know what that means. It means that they're hedging their bets a little bit because they're not sure. I mean, they when they killed the RT EV because it wasn't selling, that's kind of the canary in the coal mine. So I think what's happening here, if you read between the lines, is they're kind of like, and they're not sure what Trump's going to do with the tariffs. Right now, our audience should know that there's a 25% tariff on fully assembled autos crossing into the United States that are built in Canada. And that's going to affect those costs because some of them get absorbed by Stellantis and its dealers, Dodge dealers in the U.S. Maybe, but some of that money is going to be paid for by consumers. There's no question.
I would say most of it.
The cost is going to get passed on. And if you want to, I don't have list prices for the 25 Charger in front of me, but you can go and look on Dodge.com or Dodge.ca if you're in Canada. These cars are not super cheap to begin with. And so, and because this car is such a different animal than the one that you saw get built in Brampton with the V8, the Hellcat, the 5.7 HEMI,
Demons,
the 6.4 HEMI, those cars sold well right up until the very end.
Yeah.
Right up until 2023 when they quit building them. So
essentially all you were buying was the engine. The car was an added benefit.
And those cars had manual transmissions. When you go EV, there's no manual. There's no manual, and these cars aren't rear-wheel drive. They're the EVs, I believe. I have to double check. I think are all-wheel drive because of the motors, right? So it's a different car. And I've talked to people. I haven't driven it, but I've talked to people who have, and they say, that Fratsonic, that software-driven exhaust that kind of sounds sort of ICE, but not really. It's when it zips by. I've been told by someone who has driven it that when you are standing there and someone zooms by in one, if you're not listening closely, you might think, "Oh, that sounds like a V8."
Yeah,
sort of. If you're not really paying attention.
I've heard them drive by in traffic. You can't tell the difference, honestly, unless you know what you're looking for.
Unless you're like, if it just zooms by, you probably won't be able to tell. Yeah. But if you're driving it for a while, okay, this is not a V8. This is software. This is software generated sound. It's better than silence, right? Can you imagine driving a Charger and it's like a vacuum, like a Roomba? It's be weird, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, let us know, guys. We're anxious to hear your feedback. We love covering. We are car guys. That's what we do. That's why we do the show, and we want to hear from you. And so please get in touch. But until then, thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time on Factory Fresh.
Yep. Stay fresh.